going, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ryan, and we've got my Release Series 1 Scion FRS, and we're actually gonna warm it up, take it out, and get some like before and after clips. But we're actually gonna be installing a set of, these are the catted FT86 performance headers. So these are unequal length. So I really wanna get that boxer rumble. So far on the car, since it's the TRD series, it's got the TRD catback already on it, and then I put a Borla downpipe. So the Borla downpipe eliminated one of the cats. We're gonna keep the one in the header just to be legal, don't have any issues getting inspected, anything like that. But I am curious to see the sound difference, just because it's already got a nice tone to it, not too loud, not too quiet, but I really want that boxer rumble. So we'll see what these do. Up, ready to go. So we'll do a few pulls in different gears and just do a sound comparison for before and after. So we got third gear. Second gear pull. I'm gonna let the car cool down, and hopefully, ideally you would want to do this probably with a cold car, but I just wanted to be able to compare the difference between before and after. So as the car cools down, what we'll go ahead and do is get the car up on jack stands, remove some of that, like the under panel, and then hopefully by that point, it'd be cool enough to where I can actually touch the headers and start unbolting everything. Well, that was the easy part. So we've got the car on jack stands, and we've got the like aluminum undershroud off. So all that is a combo of push pins, 10 millimeters and 12 millimeters, and then it just drops out. Here's the undershroud, and if you'll notice, I've marked little P's for push pins because I don't know about you all, but I'm notorious for forgetting what goes where. So at least that way it's an easy indicator to me. Okay, I know the push pins go there. So we've got room to work with now. So we're gonna dive in and see exactly, because I'm not sure how this comes out. But the one thing I do know is there's two O2 sensors, and I'll go ahead and unplug those now. Just so that way when I get everything unbolted, it's not trying to pull those down and they're still connected. You can see we got one O2 sensor there, and if you follow the line up, it goes to this first gray clip. So we're going to undo this one, and then there's actually another one hidden. You can't really see it, but it's hidden down in there. So when you follow it up, it's this other one. So there's only two clips up here. We're going to undo both of those, just that way when we drop the header, these still aren't trying to be connected and tug on these. To give you the plan of attack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the new header. We're going to start from unbolting like the downpipe first, and then actually do like the manifold. So as you can see, there's not much to it. So we'll start with this downpipe part. There's two bolts, and I don't know if they're studs or what on the factory part. We're gonna start up here, loosening this part, and then once we move on to the manifold, then the factory header should drop down. So I should probably let it cool down just a little bit more, because everything is still very hot to the touch. But I at least want to try to see how tight the bolts are in case I need to spray them with some PB Blaster. But so we're going to crawl under the car and start with that downpipe, try to loosen that before we work our way to the manifold. we did it. We got the stock header off. Honestly, it's not really that bad. I was able to fit the breaker bar under there, and that made things 10 times easier. It's just the 3 manifold bolts on each side, and then 2 bolts for your downpipe, and that's it. So that's all there is to it. So I'm glad I went ahead and unplugged those O2 sensors, because like I was saying in the beginning, had I not, those would have been caught up, and just been a nightmare trying to get those unclipped and undone from the top while trying not to break any of these wires. So now the fun part, trying to break these O2 sensors off. FT86 Speed Factory, along with the header, they also send you the gaskets you need along with the bolts. So those will attach to where our downpipe go. This is the point where I would love if I had an extra set of hands, just so that way somebody could kind of hold the header in place while one person holds it and the other person kind of start threading the nuts on there. And that way, you know, obviously more hands the better, but I'm gonna try to slide in with it kind of resting on my chest, and then that way I can use hopefully like my body as like the prop, at least enough to start threading like at least a couple of the manifold on each side. But we'll see how it goes. It's probably not gonna be easy. Unfortunately, I've hit a roadblock, and I don't know if it's because I'm just a solo man today trying to do this job, or if it's just because like the flanges won't line up. But I can get one side to the manifold, but the other side doesn't line up, or vice versa. So it's just, I mean, just a touch off. So I feel like maybe if I had somebody helping to like push it up, then I could slide it on just enough to get the nuts on, but definitely struggling at this moment. So I'm gonna keep playing with it, keep prying on it and pushing and stuff. But I mean, on your back, your arms get tired. So that's my limitation at the moment, but hopefully hopefully it will slide on. It's just a matter of getting it at that exact perfect angle. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I got you under the car here with me. And as you can tell, I mean, we're like a millimeter off, because like you can actually see the stud sticking through the hole. I mean, it's so close on each one. It's almost, I just need just a little more, just a little oomph, but I don't have any oomph left. So might have to call in some reinforcements. Thanks to the help of Slam. She's the real MVP of this install, because if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be done. So what I had her do is just push really, really hard towards like the driver's side. And that was just enough, because I mean, we were millimeter, 2 millimeters off from fitting, but her pushing on it gave us that flexibility to where it slid up on those studs, and now it fits perfectly. But whew, by yourself, I just don't see it happening. So you need a buddy for this install. But now that we've got everything lined up, let's go ahead and we'll tighten everything down. So Slam and I have got it buttoned up now. Everything's installed. So I'm gonna have her jump in the car, and I'm gonna crawl underneath just to make sure we don't have any exhaust leaks. There is one bolt on the passenger side. You can't get to that bolt. It's just not accessible. So we've tightened it the best we can. So we're gonna, fingers crossed, there's no exhaust leaks, but we'll see how it sounds. startup went good. I didn't feel any leaks, so we'll go drive it around just a touch, and then I'll come back and double check everything again. And then, because I don't want to put that aluminum undershroud on there just because it's a pain in the butt to take on and off. So I'm gonna test drive it first, see how it feels, see how it sounds, see if we develop any ticks. And like I said, once it goes through like a heat cycle, I'll tighten everything back down just to be on the safe side, and then put that shroud back. But so far so good. And of course, because it took so long, I've kind of burnt daylight, so I'm not gonna actually do any like hard pulls or anything right now. I'm literally just gonna go down the street and back just to make sure we don't have any weird, well, we got a weird rattle like on startup once it, like, I don't know, but it always, even when I switched to the like Borla downpipe, it was rattling against something. So once it goes to the cold start, then it quiets down and doesn't have that rattle anymore. But aside from that, so that's kind of the new normal, so that's fine. I'm not worried about that. But it does seem to be like idling a lot lower. Like I think we're idling at like 600 RPMs. So I didn't really take note like before what it was idling at, but it just seems a little low. Like it seems like it's gonna cut off, but no check engine lights or anything like that. So, because I don't have a tune on it, and I know that's kind of maybe goes hand in hand, so that'll probably be what I do next. But as of right now, no check engine lights, and we'll just see how it drives. So it might be just my imagination, but I swear I hear like that tick, tick, tick that you get with an exhaust leak. I'm gonna let it cool down overnight. Honestly, I'm just tired of working on it today, and we're running out of daylight anyway. So I'm gonna call it quits for the night. So we'll catch you bright and early tomorrow. And we're back. So it's the next morning, and I went ahead, I've got the aluminum under tray on the car, and I was actually able to tighten like the header bolts just a touch more. So it'll be one of those things where I'll probably check them in another couple 100 miles just to make sure they haven't come loose at all. But today is when I'm really gonna get on it. So we're going to do another little cold start. And honestly, so far, listening to the clips and just hearing it in person, I can't tell a difference. So I'm hoping once we actually get into the throttle a little bit, that's when it'll open up and be a little bit louder, and I'll hear that rumble. But gonna do a cold start and then warm it up and then do some pulls and see what the difference is. I've just been cruising around. I haven't really got the car. I've been like short shifting, so I haven't actually done like a full pull to get my reaction yet. But I haven't really gone over 3,500 RPMs. And honestly, so far, to me, just my before and after ear, it sounds almost identical. There might be like a little more definition of that rumble to it, but it's definitely, I'm not sold on it thus far. It's not a night and day difference. I would say it's kind of like a night versus a little bit later that night difference. So I'm really hoping once we open it up and take it all the way to Redline, we'll notice a big difference. So I'm gonna get up here, find me an empty stretch of road. That way I can start doing some pulls. We're gonna start out with a second gear pull. We're at 2,500 RPMs, and we're just gonna mat it. I mean, it sounds good. I don't know if like the cabin is just, it's not that great of a sound deadening, but I wonder if it's just killing the sound to my ears. But it really does not sound too much different to me. Like I said, there might be more of like the rumble like definition to it, but as far as like loudness, I don't notice a stitch of loudness any difference at all. So I would like to be able to hear from outside the car. That might be the true indicator. I don't know, we'll see. But we'll drop it down to third gear. So this is third gear at about 3,500 RPMs, and we're just gonna go to Redline. I mean, I'll shift to fourth, but we're gonna take it to Redline and then shift. So third gear. definitely sounds good, but she also sounded good before. Because like I said, I got the TRD catback, which came stock on this one, just because it was the release series. So I got TRD catback, and then the Borla downpipe, which eliminated one of the cats. So that might be the recipe to a great sounding exhaust. Like I said, I would like to hear it from outside the vehicle, because inside I can't tell a difference. I'll be interested to see like when we lay the sound clips side by side, but to the naked ear, I can't tell a difference. Now that we're back from our test drive, initial impressions are, it's alright. I really can't say that these are worth it. At least not the catted version. So I've had these things sitting in the garage for, I don't know, probably at least a year. And when I bought them brand new, they were $700-800, something like that. And just looking on like the FT86 Speed Factory website now, they've gotten outrageously expensive, almost double the price, because I think they're $1,300. I definitely say they're not worth $1,300. Like hands down, wouldn't do it. If you can get the ones without cats, and you can actually get away with getting the car inspected and don't have to worry about it, then that will be your best bet. I would probably pony up and get those brand new. But if you're gonna go with the catted version, I'd honestly try to find a set that's used, whether it be, I really don't know that there's much of a difference between brands, but I think JDL makes a catted version, FT86 makes a catted version. I believe there's one more, but if you can find the catted version used and it's in good shape, I would definitely recommend it. But paying $1,300 is outrageous to me. My biggest takeaways are we got some style points, just because when you pop the hood and look in the engine bay, it does look a lot better without the factory exhaust down there, factory header. And then two, it's got to be some weight savings. I'm pleased for what it is. Like I said, there's like a sweet spot between like 2,000, 3,500 RPMs that you really can tell it's got that boxer rumble to it. Take that for what it's worth. But I do appreciate everybody watching. If you will, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one. Second gear pull. We're gonna start out with a second gear pull. We're at 2,500 RPMs, and we're just gonna mat it.